Yeah. So now we'll discuss from chapter 4, the process of creation. Sukadeva Goswami glorifies the Lord. Why is glorifying the Lord? Because Pariksith Maharaja will make inquiries, and before answering those inquiries, he will offer prayers. Just like in every Bhagavatam class, before Bhagavatam begins, the speaker will offer prayers. First, he sings Jai Radha Madhava, then Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, recites verse, reads the translation purport, then offers prayers, seeking the permission and blessings of all the previous acharyas and all the way up to Supreme Lord, so that he can receive some mercy and he can speak properly. So that was the whole idea. So in the 4th chapter, Sukadeva Goswami, being asked by Pariksith Maharaj, described the creation through the conversation of Brahma and Narada after offering respects to his Guru, Lord Krishna. So that is the subject matter. And here is the chapter breakup. There are 25 verses. In first 4 verses, Sukadeva Goswami describes what was the result of hearing. The answers by Sukadeva Goswami. What kind of transformation took place in Pariksith Maharaj's heart? That is mentioned in the first 4 verses. Then 5 to 10, Pariksith Maharaj makes inquiries. So then, remaining chapter, Sukadeva Goswami offers prayers unto Supreme Lord. That is what is being indicated here in this chapter. Suta uvacha vayyasaker iti vachas tattva nischayam atmana upadharya matim krishne autareya satim vyadhat.
Suta said, hearing the words of Sukadeva, by which he could discern the truth about the soul, Pariksith concentrated his mind, which was always thinking of Krishna.
Hearing words from which he could discern the truth about the soul, he particularly concentrated his mind, which was always thinking of Krishna, because he was the son of Uttara. He was already a devoted soul, being the son of Uttara and Abhimanyu, being the grandson of five Pandavas. He is already a great devotee. But by hearing Sukadeva Goswami, his steadiness increased in that way. From the time that Krishna entered her womb to save him, he remembered Lord Krishna. So when did his remembrance started? Since the time Lord Krishna entered into the womb of Uttara and protected him. From there on, he was constantly remembering Lord Krishna. Or Satim Matim can mean undeviating mind. Hearing the words of Sukadeva Goswami, Pariksith concentrated his mind, which was always thinking of Krishna. The Pariksith Maharaj was always thinking of Krishna only, but now it has become more. So that is the effect by hearing from Sukadeva Goswami in the previous 2.5 chapters. Then what happened? Atmajaya sutagara pashu dravina bandhushu rajye cha vikale nityam virudam mamatam jahau.
He completely gave up attachment to body, wife, sons, house, animals, wealth, friends, kingdom, which is constant and strong in others.
Little louder. Next words. So here Atma means the body. He has given up attachment to Atma means body, the wife, children, home. Home means here for a king palace. Pashu means different variety of animals such as cows, buffaloes, horses, elephants, etc. Dravina is the wealth. Bandhushu is the relatives. Rajya. Since it is Pariksith Maharaj, he has a Rajya, kingdom. For us, it will be our job, livelihood. Vikale nityam virudam mamatam jahau. So he gave up attachment to all these 8 items. He then even externally gave up attachment to body, wife, sons, etc. So here a word is used, viruda. Later in third canto, there are some kinds of plants which are known as bushes. They are called viruda. Viruda means deep-rooted bushes. It will be very difficult to pluck out. Similarly, a man's attachment to the body, wife, children, home, animals. In the past, it is animals. In the current day, it is vehicles. And wealth or bank balance, and friends and relatives, and the job. It is very difficult to give up attachment to all these things. The attachment is like the roots of a deep-rooted bushes. But Pariksith Maharaj very easily gave up attachment to all these things, internally and externally. Of course, by the way, he was never attached to all these things. But now, after hearing Sukadeva Goswami, it became very easy to give up attachment to all these things. It's like that. Paprucha chemam yevartam yanmam pruchata sattama krishnanubhava sharane shraddha dano mahamana.
O great devotees, the intelligent Pariksith, full of faith in hearing Krishna's activities, asked this question to Sukadeva, which you have asked me.
So all of you are asking that Pariksith Maharaj must have asked a question to Sukadeva Goswami and Sukadeva Goswami might have answered. Yes, as you are thinking, Pariksith Maharaj made an inquiry to Sukadeva Goswami. What you have asked refers to the question, request the sages made in the last chapter. Please tell us everything which is related to Krishna, expressed in verses such as Ayur Harati Vaipumsham. The king asked Sukadeva Goswami the same thing, etc. Samstam Vijnaya Sanyasya Karma Traivargikam Chayat Vasudeve Bhagavati Atma Bhavam Drudam Gata.
Knowing his impending death, giving up all actions of dharma, artha and kama, he became firmly fixed in prema to Krishna.
Understanding that he is going to die in the next 7 days, giving up his attachment for dharma, artha, kama and also Sahajya Moksha, he firmly fixed on Krishna Prema alone. Vasudeve Bhagavati Atma Bhavam. So that way. He is only interested in attaining Krishna Prema and no other things in relation to Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Understanding he was going to die, giving up all material activities, he attained with Prema, though it was already present. He attained from Prema, though it was already present. So basically, attained Prema means he focused only on attainment of Prema. After 7 days, anyway, he will attain. He already have Prema for Krishna, but he will attain full-fledged way after next 7 days. Knowing his impending death, he gave up all Traivargika karma and became firmly fixed in Prema to Lord Krishna. Traivargika means Dharmartha Kama. Traivargika means 3 kinds of Purusharthas. Out of 4 Purusharthas, the people who are attached to material world are only interested in Dharmartha Kama. But like Nishama Karmis, Jnanis and Yogis are interested in Moksha. Devotees are interested in Prema. Just like that. So what are the inquiries of the king? Rajo Vacha Samichinam Vacho Brahman Sarvajnasya Tavanagha Tamo Vishiryate Mahyam Hare Katayata Katam.
The king said, O sinless Brahmana, when you, full of knowledge, speak topics of the Lord, my ignorance is destroyed. Those words are fitting.
Yeah, first he is saying that by hearing your answers to my inquiries, all my ignorance has been destroyed. Tamo Vishirate Mayam. Because those words of your good self are firmly fitting as per my requirement now. They are according to what I need to hear, what I need to do. So thank you very much. First he is expressing his gratitude for whatever he had heard from him. Tama means ignorance. Mayam means mama, my. My ignorance is getting destroyed by your fitting words. Then, Bhuyayeva vivistami Bhagavan Atma Mayaya yatedam srujate vishwam duvibhavyam adishwarai.
Again, I desire to know how the Lord, by his energy, creates this universe, which is hard to meditate on by even the Devatas.
Yeah. Bhuya eva vivistami bhagavan atmamaya. Bhuya eva vivistami. I desire to hear more and more how the Lord, by his own material energy, atmamaya, create this universe, which is hard to meditate upon even by the Devatas. Durvibhavyam Adishwara. Even for the Devatas to think of, meditate upon how the Supreme Lord created this entire material world is very difficult. But I would like to hear about that. Why Pariksith Maharaj is asking about the creation pastimes? The reason is, hearing the words of Sukadeva Gosvami, Pariksith Maharaj concentrated his mind, which was always thinking of Lord Krishna. This is the king's intention. Before making an inquiry, king is thinking like that within himself. You have described that I should hear and chant at the point of death. The subject of hearing and chanting are Krishna's qualities, forms and pastimes, Nama Rupa Gunalila. First, I will ask about the pastimes of creation by his Maya Shakti. Then I will ask about the pastimes of his, they will ask about his pastimes such as lifting Govardhana using his chest Shakti. First, I would like to hear his Srishti Leela. Then I would like to hear his sweet pastimes. Thus, again, I desire to know about the universe, which is hard to meditate upon. So you might say that you have already heard about the universe from many great souls, Daumya, Krupacharya, Vyasa, etc. in the past during my lifetime. But still I want to hear the pastimes, the creation pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Because even for Devatas, it is very difficult to get the complete clarity. So I want to hear once again from your lotus mouth. It's like that, he said. Why? What is the purpose in hearing creation pastimes? Recently, all of you were here. Ballan Shakti Prabhu was speaking in Bhagavatam classes, taking reference from one verse from the last chapter of the 5th canto. He started the discussion, whatever he started in the Brahmacharya classes. Someone read the translation?
In the beginning, the second and the third cantos of the Srimad Bhagavatam, I have already described how one can progress on the path of liberation. That is what is already mentioned in the previous chapters. The progress in the path of liberation by direct mukti and krama mukti in the first 2 chapters. And then go ahead. In the Puranas, the universe divided into 14 parts is described as the gross body of the Supreme Lord Narayana. That was also mentioned in the first chapter. The universal form indicating the 14 planetary systems are compared with the 14 different limbs of the Virat Purusha. Second chapter. First chapter. Then. Made of his material Maya. If one reads the description of this external form of the Lord with great faith, or if one hears about it or explains it to others and develops faith, bhakti and pure intelligence, he will understand the topic of the Supreme Lord, Leela Katha, which is like an Upanishad difficult to understand. Yeah. So whatever has been briefly mentioned in the first chapter and second chapters about the 14 planetary systems which are compared to different limbs of the universal form, and also about the path of perfection by the yogis, attached and detached yogis, will be elaborated in the next 2 cantos, second canto and third canto, which talks about the creation of the universe consisting of 14 planetary systems and who will live there, where, etc. All these things will be mentioned. If one reads and hears all these details about Srishti Leela, then one develops faith on the Supreme Lord, develops bhakti toward the Supreme Lord, and also develops pure intelligence toward the Supreme Lord. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse number 8. What is that verse? Chapter 10, text number 8. The first Shloki of Bhagavad Gita. Shloka I am asking, not the translation. So that is, yes, that is correct. That shloka only.
Aham
Little louder.
Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravartati iti matva bhajantema bodha bhava manyate.
See, all these things are there. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. I am the creator of everything that exists. Mattam sarvam pravartate. By my presence as Paramatma, everything is under operation. Iti matva, one who understands this. Understanding means, first of all, to hear, one need to have faith. Hearing that, one's faith becomes nishta, firm faith. Okay? Hearing the creation pastimes or maintenance pastimes of the Supreme Lord, one's faith becomes firm. Okay? Then what? Then what Krishna says? Iti matva bhajanti mam. Then one engages in my devotional service. That means bhakti will come. Then Buddha Bhava Samanvita. Buddhi will also come. Intelligence will come. With that intelligence, one will understand how to serve the Supreme Lord more intensely. Hare Krishna. Faith will come, bhakti will come, pure intelligence will come. And then eventually with that pure intelligence, one will understand the Leela Avatar Katha, the sweet pastimes of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, the prerequisite to understand the Leela Avatar Katha is, one need to understand Srishti Leela, Purusha Avatar Katha. Hare Krishna. Let us get into it. Yata gopayati vibhur, yata samyachate puna, yam shaktim upashritya, puru shakti parapuman, atmanam kridayan krida, karoti vikaroti cha.
I desire to know how the Lord maintains and then destroys the universe again. By which Shaktis does the sponsor of many Shaktis, the Supreme Person, sport with Maya, and create the elements, and then employing the Devatas, create the bodies of the living entities.
Yeah. I desire to know how the Lord creates, maintains, and then destroys the universe again and again. The creation, maintenance, and annihilation happens one after the other in sequence. So I want to know all these things. By what Shaktis? Because Lord is said to be having many Shaktis. Parasha Shaktir Vivideva Shuyate. He has hundreds of Shaktis. But by employing what Shakti, he creates, maintains, and destroys the entire universe. And also, how does he employ different devatas and create the bodies for different living entities? These are the other things. How does he, what are the different things that he does alone, and what are the different things he employs? He does through the devatas. He employs the devatas to perform. These are the different questions. Gopayati means maintains. Samyachate means destroys. The Lord possesses many Shaktis, such as the Tatat Shakti, Bhairanga Shakti, and Antaranga Shakti, related to the Jiva, matter, and spiritual world. Tatat Shakti is about Jiva, Bhairanga Shakti is about the matter, Antaranga Shakti is about the spiritual world. He sports with Maya Shakti and creates a form of himself, Atmanam Karoti. By sporting with Maya Shakti, Supreme Lord creates a material universe which is non-different from himself, in the form of Mahatattva, false ego, and other elements. This is a question about the Sarga, the primary creation. The first question asking about the primary creation by Lord Vishnu. How does he create 24 elements by which he creates unlimited Brahmandas? The second question is, how does he engage others, the Devatas such as Brahma and Marichi, in sporting and creates a form of himself in the form of Devatas, animals, and humans? How does he create the various forms of various living entities in the entire universe by employing Brahma and Brahma's Manasaputras, Prajapatis, and different variety of Devatas? This is the question about secondary creation. How does Lord Vishnu employ Brahma in the secondary creation? That is also inquired. But you seem to already know quite a bit of these topics, Sukadeva Goswami asks. You are telling all these things, that means you know everything. Why are you asking me again? Pariksith Maharaja says, Nunam Bhagavato Brahman Hare Radbhuta Karmana Durvibhavyam iva abhati Kavibhis chapi cheshtitam.
O Brahmana, the activities of the Lord, performer of astonishing activities, certainly appear hard to understand, or even the wise.
So, my dear Brahmana, you may say that I have heard all these things, I may know a little bit, but the activities of the Supreme Lord who performs Adbhuta Karma, wonderful activities, difficult to understand. Even for the wise people cannot understand the wonderful activities of Supreme Lord, then what to speak of ordinary people like me? Like that Sukadeva Goswami saying. No, it is very actually difficult for even for the wise people to understand the activities of the Supreme Lord. Then what to speak of an ordinary person like me? I want to hear once again. So like that. Yata gunam tu.
By Pariksith Maharaja to Sukadeva Goswami.
Yes, na. You see verse number 5. Who is asking? Rajo Vacha. Pariksith Maharaj is asking all the questions to Sukadeva Goswami.
Yeah.
So you see the heading.
Yeah, I just actually heard that Sukadeva Goswami is asking. So that.
Naina. Yata gunam stu prakriter yugapat kramasopi va bibarti bhurishastveka kurvan karmani janmabhi.
Just as the Lord, while performing activities of creation and destruction, supports the gunas of Prakriti, all at once as one Purusha, he also supports the gunas through many forms of the Devatas. Does he do this gradually in sequence?
Some additional questions. Just as the Lord, as one Purusha, the first Purusha, Mahavishnu, supports the three gunas of Prakriti at one time, or without being contaminated, as one Purusha, activates the three gunas with his glands and maintains them. He also maintains the gunas as many by the appearance of Brahma, Marichi and others. Does he do this gradually in sequence? How does he support the gunas? He performs activities of creation. Basically, here Pariksith is asking that, I know a little bit vaguely that first Lord Vishnu, by looking on Prakriti, creates 24 elements, then creates Brahmandas, then creates Brahma, then employs Brahma in creating subsequent living entities. Does he do all these things at once, or he does one after the other? Can you please get into more details about the process of creation? The sequence of creation properly. Elaborate. Like that is asking. The Lord as Karnadaksha Vishnu single-handedly support the three gunas during primary creation. Then, through Devatas, he also support the gunas during the secondary creation. Does this happen simultaneously or in sequence? Does Vishnu's creation and Brahma's creation go in sequence or happen together? Can you get into elaborately into the details of the creation? Like that is asking. You have mentioned that this subject matter is very difficult for even the wise people to understand. Why then are you asking me? So he said that even the wise cannot understand all the subject matter. How can I understand? Like that Pariksith Maharaj said. Then Sukadeva Goswami said that, okay, if you say even wise cannot understand, I am not a wise person. I also don't understand. Then why are you asking me? Like that Sukadeva Goswami is saying. Then Pariksith Maharaj said that, Vichikshitam etan me bhravitu bhagavan yata shabde brahmana nishnata paraismaischa bhavan kalu.
Please speak these topics about which I am doubtful. You are expert in discerning the truth in the scriptures, just as Krishna himself knows, and you have realized Krishna.
So I am asking you because just like Krishna is omniscient, you are also omniscient. You know everything. The other so-called wise people may not know, but you are actually really wise person. You know everything. That's why I am asking you. Like that Pariksith Maharaj says. Vichikshitam means doubt. If this is hard for the wise to understand, how do you know that I know? Sukadeva Goswami is saying. Then Pariksith Maharaj saying that just as Krishna, who is Bhagavan, knows everything, you, he is devotee, also know everything. You are expert in discerning the Vedas, Brahmani, and in realization of Krishna, Parasmai. Shabde Brahmana Nishnata Parasmaicha Bhavan Kalu. My dear Sukadeva Goswami, you are expert in Shabda Brahma, in the Vedas. And you are also expert in Parabrahma, in the Supreme Lord. Vedas. Parabrahma is the Supreme Lord, absolute truth. So, my dear Sukadeva Goswami, you are expert in Shabda Brahma and Parabrahma. You are Nishnata in both Shabda Brahma and Parabrahma. You know the teachings of the Vedas, you know the personality of God completely. So, you can answer very easily. It is not a difficult thing for you. Therefore, one should approach a bona fide spiritual master who knows this in order to get the same knowledge. Tadvijnartam sagurum eva bhigachet samitpani shrotriyam brahmanishtam. With fuel wood in his hand, the student should approach the Guru, knowledgeable of the Vedas. Tadvijnanartam sagurum eva bhigachet samitpani shrotriyam. Shrotriya Nishtha means the Guru is supposed to be Nishnat in Vedas. And the Guru is supposed to be Nishnat in Brahman. Brahman Nishnat means Nishnat in Bhagavan. Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. Nishnat in absolute truth. In order to attain the same knowledge, one need to approach such kind of Guru who is expert in the Vedas and expert in the absolute truth. It's like that. Other writers of scriptures do not all realize Krishna. They do not know. The other writers of the scriptures do not all realize the Krishna. Do not all realize Krishna. They do not know. The Lord himself say, Kim vidatte kim asaste kim anudyak vikalpayet iti asya hridayam loke nanyo madveda kaschana. What do the Vedas instruct as action or instruct as a sadhana? What is the final meaning of the Vedas? What alternative do the Vedas raise? No one except me or my devotee knows the intended meaning of the Vedas. Either the Supreme Lord or his devotees only can understand the intended meaning of the Vedas. Others are simply play with the words. That's why Sukadeva Goswami is saying that, my dear sir, you are expert in discerning the spiritual truth and you have realized Lord Krishna. Therefore, please clear my doubts. Except you, no one can clarify my doubts. That's why I am approaching you. Like that, Pariksith Maharaj inspired Sukadeva Goswami to answer all his inquiries because there is no one else who shelter can take. So, thus, based on these inquiries, the intended understanding is the Vaishnavas should hear the pastimes of Lord Krishna and the avatars involved in the Shishakti, but should similarly hear the pastimes of the Purusha avatars, such as creating the universe involving Maya Shakti. Those pastimes should not be leered at. The here Pariksith Maharaj and the speaker Sukadeva Goswami intended that those pastimes should be known. Here, by asking these inquiries, by answering those inquiries, both Pariksith Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami are indicating that the devotee should also hear Srishti Lila, not just the Avatara Lila. So, it's like, because Bhagavatam is starting with Srishti Lila, they should be heard properly. Like that, they are indicating, their conversation itself is indicating. So, these are the various inquiries of Pariksith Maharaj onto Srila Sukadeva Goswami. Now, Sukadeva Goswami is going to respond. Thus questioned, Sukadeva Goswami remembered the Lord and prepared to answer. Suta Goswami iti upamandrito rajna punanu katane hari Rishikesham anusmrutya pravivaktam prachakrame.
Suta Goswami said, being thus requested by the king to speak about the qualities of the Lord, Sukadeva, remembering the Lord of the senses, prepared to answer.
Sorry. Suta Goswami is saying that in order to answer Sukadeva Goswami, Pariksith Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami getting prepared. Before answering, he is remembering the Lord of the senses, Rishikesha. Because now we need the mercy of the Supreme Lord so that he can answer properly to Pariksith Maharaj. Rishikesha is the person who inspires all the senses. May the Lord become situated in my words and answer you. Rishikesha is the answer, Lord of the senses. Let my mouth speak the answer properly. Like that he is saying. While offering respects to the Lord and Guru, Sukadeva Goswami begins to answer. Now, Sukadeva Goswami is offering prayers to Supreme Lord so that his words and his thoughts may be united properly and may answer Pariksith Maharaj questions in a way so that Pariksith Maharaj can attain his ultimate perfection. That was the whole intention. Sri Shuka Uvacha Nama Parasmai Purushaya Bhuyase Swaudhavasthana Nirodha Lilaya Grihita Shakti Tritayaya Dehinam Ananta Bhavyanu Vartmane. Rupana Prabhu.
Goswami said, I offer my respects to the Supreme Person Krishna, whose powerful expansion is Mahavishnu, performing pastimes of creation, maintenance, and destruction of the universe. Through accepting the three gunas, whose second and third expansion act as the inner soul of the universe and the jivas, and who can be realized by the path of bhakti, but cannot be realized by other paths.
Yeah. At the very beginning, he is offering obeisance to the three Purusha avatars, Karnodakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, indicating who they are. Sukadeva Goswami offers respects in 13 verses, starting from 12 to 25. I offer my respect to the Supreme Person, Lord Krishna. First, he speaks of the power of Lord Krishna. I offer respect to the unlimited power of the Purusha avatars. Who are these Purusha avatars? He then describes a pastime of the first Purusha avatara, that is Karnodakshaya Vishnu or Mahavishnu. So, what are the activities of the first Purusha? Creation, maintenance, and destruction of the universe using the three gunas of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Grihita Shakti Tritiyaya. This is the activity of the first Purusha avatara. Mahavishnu accepts the three modes of material nature and creates, maintains, and annihilates the entire material universes. We will discuss what is this in the next chapter. 5th chapter is all about that only. He then describes the second and third Purusha avatars, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is the Antaryami of the whole universe, and Kshirodakshaya Vishnu is the Antaryami of all the living entities within the universe. He can be realized by the practice of bhakti, but is unknown by the yogis. Anupalaksha Vartmane. The three forms of the Purusha avatars can be very well realized completely by practice of bhakti, not by jnana or yoga or karma. Therefore, I offer my respects to Karnodakshaya Vishnu, who by accepting the three gunas perform the primary creation. I then offer my respects to the Kshirodakshaya Vishnu and Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, who act as the super soul of the jivas and the universe. Kshirodakshaya Vishnu is the super soul of the jivas, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is the super soul of the entire universe. The Lord can be realized only by the performance of bhakti, not by other processes. Fifth canto, 5th chapter. All the three will come in the next chapter. Next two chapters, 5th and 6th. No, don't think. We'll see what Bhagavatam says. Bhuyo namastvad vrijinachid Bhuyo namasad vrijinachide satam asambhavaya kila sattva murtaye pumsham puna praramahamsya ashrame vyavastitanam anumrugya dasuse.
Again, I offer respects to you, the destroyer of suffering of the devotees and giver of liberation to the demons, the form of Shuddha Sattva, the shelter of those with the mood of the Paramahamsas, the giver of Brahman to the Bhakti Mishra Jnanis, and a prema to the pure devotees.
These are the different activities of the Supreme Lord. He says that The sweetness of the Lord's mercy is now described in this verse. Previous verse talks about the Lord's greatness as the Purusha Avataras. Now the sweetness is there. Again, I offer respects to you who destroy the suffering of your devotees by appearing as Rama, Krishna, Varaha, Kurma, like the different avatars, the different Leela avatars. You destroy the suffering of material existence for the sinful by killing them and awarding them liberation. Who are the people? By the sinful, non-devotees, Rakshasas and Asuras, by personally killing them and by awarding them liberation. You cause aspiration to such kind of people also. Kila Sattva means inferior material existence. Akila Sattva means superior spiritual existence. You are the shelter of the mood of the Paramahamsas. You are the giver of the bliss of Brahman to the Bhakti Mishra Jnanis or Bhakti Mishra Yogis, and the giver of the bliss of Prema for the pure devotees under your shelter. It is Lord himself kills the Asuras and award them liberation. It is the Lord himself offers Sayujya Mukti for the Bhakti Mishra Jnanis and Bhakti Mishra Yogis. It is Lord himself offers Vaikunta with Prema to the pure devotees. It is Lord himself doing everything out of his causeless mercy. And to that Lord I offer my respects. So previous verse offered respects to Purusha Avataras. In this verse is offering respects to the Leela Avataras. Then he further continues. Namo namaste sturushabhaya shashvatam vidura kashtaya muhururko yoginam nirasya samya atishena radasa Fadamani Brahma Rasmate Namaha Brahma Ramsaye Namaha.
I continually offer respects to you, son of Vasudeva of the Yadus, who remain forever distant from the non-devotees, who are the enjoyer in your spiritual abode in Mathura and Braja with your devotees, displaying powers that are unequaled and unsurpassed.
Now specifically the offering obeisances to Lord Krishna, the best among all the Leela Avataras. You are filled with power of sweetness. Continually offer respects. By using the second person case, he implies that the Lord is directly his worshipable deity. Namo Namaste. I offer unto you. By using the word you, he is indicating that Lord is directly his worshipable deity. Now he is offering respects to his own worshipable deity. I offer respects to the son of Vasudeva, the son of Yadu dynasty. Okay? You are a distant for those without bhakti. Kuyoginam. For the non-devotees, you are a far away person. But for devotees, you are a nearby person. But you are not distant or hidden for devotees. There is no one equal to or greater than you in power. Radha say. It's like that. So Krishna's special mercy and Krishna's special position has been indicated in this verse. And Krishna is very far for the non-devotees, is very near for the devotees. You are the enjoyer in your own Dhamma, known as Madhura Mandala, along with the persons qualified for that enjoyment. You enjoy with your eternal associates in Madhura Mandala. What type of Dhamma is that? It is the very form of Brahman. Taddama Paramam Mama. Natad Bhashete Shuryo Na Shishanko Na Pavaka Yadgatva Na Nivartante Taddama Paramam Mama. Tasa Madde Sakshat Brahma Gopala Purihi. In the center is the town of the cowherd Krishna, which is directly Brahman. The Dhamma is not different from Brahman himself. The Dhamma is not different from you only. Radhata indicates his power and Ramstate indicates his sweetness. The Lord of power and sweetness. My dear Lord, you, Sri Krishna, you are the Lord of power and sweetness. The Purusha Avataras are the Lord of power. The Leela Avataras are the Lord of sweetness. But you are both. You have both. You are the son of Vasudeva. You remain distant from the non-devotees. You enjoy in the spiritual world with your devotees, while displaying great powers. Thus you display both your power and your sweetness. That is the specialty of Sri Krishna. And
Leela, Lord Ramchandra ki Vasi Gopani. All Leela avatars display this power and sweetness.
Leela avatar mainly displays sweetness, then also power. Purusha avatars mainly display power, then sweetness. But Krishna displays power and sweetness unlimitedly.
How do Purusha avatars show sweetness?
Can you repeat this first?
Purusha avatars primarily display power and also secondarily display sweetness. Sweetness in the form of Dasya Bhakti. Sri Vaishnava is always worshipping Vishnu only, na? आप इधर कृष्ण वर्शिप करें. How we are supposed to worship Krishna? In the mode of Lakshmi Narayana. That is Dasya Bhav. Why in the mode of Lakshmi Narayana? Why in the mode of Dasya Bhav? Because Lord is great. We are small. He is Bibhu and we are Anu. He is the master, we are servant. That is the greatness. That is due to greatness. But since he is inspiring us to practice Dasya Bhakti, that is the sweetness of the Lord. So in that way. Other Leela Avatara, they inspire sweetness, but they also display greatness. Like Lord Rama fighting with Asuras, Rakshasas. That shows his greatness. But his sweet dealings indicate his sweetness. In the case of Mahavishnu, we may not see so many dealings, but his sweetness is there in the acceptance of our service. So, in that way. So then, how to serve that Lord? What are the different ways and means to serve the Lord? Yat kirtanam, yat smaranam, yat dikshanam, yat vandanam, yat shravanam, yat darhanam. Lokasya sadyo vidunodi lakshanam tasmai shubhadrashase namo namaha.
I offer continual respects to the Lord with all auspicious qualities, whose glorification, remembrance, deity form, topics, worship immediately destroy the impurities of man.
Here he says that all the impurities blocking the attainment of the Lord are destroyed by glorifying and remembering the Lord. By performing Kirtanam, Smaranam, Darshanam, Vandanam, and Shravanam, and Arhanam, deity worship, all the kalmash of the people of this world will be removed instantly. Basically, by engaging in the Navavida Bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Pada, Sevanam, Archanam, Mandanam, Dasam, Akkam, Atma Nivedanam. All one's impurities will be destroyed. Adikshanam refers to seeing the deity form of the Lord. He has all auspicious qualities. Performing any one limb of devotional service to the auspicious Lord immediately destroys all the impurities of men. Either by performing all the 9 limbs of bhakti or one limb of bhakti, one can be purified. That is the potency of bhakti. Tasmai Shubhadra Shravase Namo Namaha. Subhadra, Supreme Lord, is the most auspicious personality, bestows auspiciousness to any of his devotee. In that way. Okay, mercy is okay, but then what about knowledge? That is mentioned in the next verse. Vichakshanaya charanopasadanat sangam vyudasyo bayato antaratmana vindantihi brahma gatim gataklamas tasmai shrubhadra shravase namo namaha.
I offer repeated respects to the Lord with all auspicious qualities. By worshipping his feet, the Gnanis destroy the attachment of this world and the next, which reside in the heart, and attain their spiritual goal of Brahman without fatigue.
Here it says that even the Jnanis whose impurities are destroyed worship the Supreme Lord. It is only by worshiping the Supreme Lord even the Jnanis and Yogis attain Sahyajya Mukti. Otherwise they will not attain. Ubhayata means in this life and in the next life. Vyudasta means destroying. Antaratmana means the Antakarana. Those who do not worship the Lord's feet become exhausted, because it is said that Shreyas bhakti mudasthite vibho klishyanti ye kevala bodha labhyaye. Tesham asau kleshala eva shishyate nanyad yata stula tushava gatinam. What is this verse? Anyone heard it anytime? Huh? This is a verse spoken by Brahma in the 10th canto after Brahma Vimana Lila. Shreyas titim bhakti mudasthate vibhu klishyanti ye kevala bodha labhyaye. If the people who are practicing bhakti alone, practicing jnana alone, jnana or yoga alone without any bhakti, bhakti which is actually Shreya Stitim Bhaktim, bhakti which is meant to give us the ultimate benefit, Shreya. Without bhakti, if somebody is practicing jnana or ashtanga yoga, they only get klishyanti, misery only, or kleshala. While practicing, at the end of the practice, also both the places they only get misery. Because the practice of jnana or yoga without bhakti, it is like beating the husk to get the paddy. After separating the rice paddy from the rice plant, if you continue to beat the husk, what kind of not husk, continue to beat the rice paddy, will you get any more rice grains? So it is like that. The grains are like bhakti, the plant, rice plant is like the jnana. As long as the grains are there, the rice plant will be of some use. Otherwise, without the grain, the rice plant is of no use. So in that way. Even the jnanis have to worship this form of the Lord in order to attain Brahman easily. So like that. And the next verse, especially the one of the important verses which I was mentioning in the previous class, is that we will understand without bhakti, none of the other processes are of no use. That is clearly indicated in this verse. Tapasvino dana parayashasvino manasvino mantra vidasu mangala kshemam na vindanti vinaya darpanam tasmai shubhadra shravase namo namaha.
I offer continued respects to the Lord, full of auspicious qualities. Without worshipping him, Vijnanis, Karmis, specialized Karmis, yogis, scholars of the Vedas, and followers of proper conduct cannot attain any.
All these different variety of people, in order to attain perfection, they need to practice bhakti. Without bhakti, none of the other practitioners will never attain the expected results in the form of auspiciousness. Without bhakti, the practices of even the great souls, being useless, are condemned. Tapasvina means jnanis. Danapara means karmis. And Yashasvina means the special karmis who perform our sacrifice, etc. Manasvina means Ashtanga yogis. Mantravida means those people who study the Vedas. The followers of the proper conduct means Sumangala. Sumangala means the proper practitioners of the followers of the proper conduct. Cannot attain benefit without worshipping the Supreme Lord. Kshemam na vindanti vina yadarpanam. When they are performing all these activities, if they don't offer all these activities or the results of the activities unto the Supreme Lord, they do not get any kshema. Kshema means the ultimate benefit. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9:28. What is the verse? 9:27. Yat karoshi yadashnashi yajjoshi tadashi yat tapashasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Perform everything starting with the eating and drinking as an offering to me. Same way it is karmis, jnanis or yogis, whatever one may be, in order to attain perfection, they need to offer all their activities unto Supreme Lord. Then only they will get kshema. So it is like that.
So that verse is Karma Mishra Bhakti as well as Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Both in 9.27.
Yeah. Karma Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Yoga Mishra Bhakti, all mixed in that.
All three. Okay.
Yeah. So, here the contrast is shown in the next verse. This is the last verse for today's discussion. With the 18 we'll stop. So in the 17th it said that whether it is a karmi or a sakama karmi or nishkama karma yogi or jnana yogi or ashtanga yogi or any other person who is following the Vedas and following all the charitable activities, etc., in order to attain the perfection of their activities, they need to perform all those activities as an offering to Supreme Lord, having a bhakti element. But in order to practice all those activities, they need to have some prerequisites. Who can practice jnana or Ashtanga Yoga? Who is the qualified person for jnana and Ashtanga Yoga?
Qualified, those who live the family.
Nishkama Karma Yogis. Nishkama Karma Yogis.
Nishkama Karma Yogis, what they are qualified for?
No, you said who are qualified for Gnana and Yoga, no? Nishkama, those who have attained the Nishkama Karma Yoga, they are qualified for Gnana and Ashtanga Yoga.
Okay, who are qualified for performing Nishkama Karma Yoga?
Whoever has the Shraddha to the Supreme Lord.
Not like that. Whoever is a Grihastha is qualified for Nishkama Karma Yoga.
Okay.
Whether it is Sakama Karma or Nishkama Karma Yoga, it is meant for only for Grihasthas.
Any Grihastha is qualified for?
Yeah, now the question is that. Not any Grihastha, but a twice born Grihastha. Among the four orders, the Brahmana, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas are twice born and they can perform Nishkama Karma Yoga. Not the others. And who are qualified to practice Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga? That is only those who are in the renounced order. Either Vanaprastha or Sannyas order can practice Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga. These are the so many different prerequisites.
Qualification is determined by
Varna and Ashrama. Yes. Qualification is determined by one's Varna and Ashrama. Yes, that is true. Qualification for practicing Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga, there is a determination based on one's Varna and Ashrama. Sannyasa can only be taken by Brahmanas. Vanaprastha can only be taken by Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. Grihastha Ashram can only be taken by Brahmana, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, the twice born.
Sannyas can only be taken by Brahmanas.
Grihastha Ashram can be taken only by these three.
No. Grihastha Ashram in the sense that qualification to practice Nishkama Karma Yoga. But not Grihastha Ashram, you can say that Gurukul. Going to Gurukul to study the Vedas is only for three Varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishya. Shudras are not qualified to go through Upanana ceremony and then go to Gurukul and study the Vedas. They are not qualified. Because they have not gone to Gurukul and studied elaborately about the process of the Vedas, they cannot practice Nishkama Karma Yoga. Without knowing how will they practice? The Shudras, it makes them practice Sakama Karma.
Then if Shudra wants to get qualification, फिर क्या करना पड़ेगा उसको?
आप बताओ कल क्लास में बताओ.
आपने बताया नहीं, they are not qualified, मतलब उनका कोई चांस ही नहीं है, ऐसा हो जाएगा.
The qualification is to take the shelter of a devotee. No problem. If Shudras cannot practice Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Ashtanga, practice Bhakti na? What is the problem?
Practice Bhakti, okay.
That is what is mentioned in this. Even the hopeless, unqualified people can practice Bhakti and attain perfection. They don't have to worry about that they are not able to practice Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. By practicing Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, one attains only Savijya Mukti. But by practicing Bhakti, one can attain the highest form of prema.
What about they accepting Guru and getting a mantra from the Guru and then practicing? Was that actually available in the Vedic system?
Everything is there in the Vedic system.
For Shudras.
Okay, but battery dead. Anyway, this is the last verse. You can open the book. So wait now, let us discuss the verse. Why are you asking so many questions?
Okay, bro.
Kiratahunandra pulinda pulkasha abhira shumba yavana kashadaya ye anna chapa payada pashraya Shuddhanti tasmai Prabha Vishnave Namaha. Read the translation.
I offer respects to the Lord of inconceived power, the Kiritas, Vilas, Andhras, Lindas, Vikashas, Abhiras, Shumbas, Yavanas, Kashas, and others of lower birth, and those sinful by action, by the shelter of the devotees, who take shelter of the wonderful Lord, become purified of their prarabdha karmas.
Shuddhanti tasmai Prabha Vishnave Namaha. Just by taking the shelter of the Supreme Lord's devotees, even the most unqualified people like Kiratas, Unas, Andhras, Pulindas, Pulkashas, Abiras, Shambhas, Yavanas, Kashas, the people of low birth such as Shudras, and the people of sinful activities, those people who become sinful by their activities, even all these people can become purified completely and can go back home back to God by taking shelter of a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. What to speak of advanced people like the Jnanis and Tapasvis? Even the outcasts can destroy their prarabdha karmas and achieve perfection by taking shelter of his devotees. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, one of the last verses.
Which talks about the
Shriya Vaishya Sada Shudra Epishu Papa Yonaya. Then Kim Punar Brahmana
Punya
Rajasyo Tata.
Rajarshayo.
Even the unprotected women, the Shudras and Vijabandhus and the lower caste people can attain perfection by the practice of bhakti. Then what to speak of the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas? They can very easily attain perfection by the practice of bhakti. Same thing, same mood is presented here. In the previous verse, it said that for all the other people who are qualified for performing Nishkama Karma, Jnana, Yoga and other charitable activities, Vedic study, in order to attain perfection, they need to practice bhakti. But even people who are not qualified to practice all those activities, they can also attain perfection by the practice of that is indicated here. Even the condemned sinners, by just a trace of bhakti, become successful. Those born in the tribes mentioned are considered sinful by birth. Others are sinful by the actions. They all become purified because the Lord has natural ability to purify everyone. It is not subject to logic. Then somebody might ask, how can you say that Lord can purify everyone? Yeah, that is Prabha Vishnave. Lord has that greatness. He can purify anyone and everyone without any prior qualities. Patra, apatra, nadeki, stanastan. That is the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Those who surrender to the devotees, accepting those devotees as their gurus, become instantly purified. Just by taking shelter of the proper guru, sinners by birth or sinners by action become purified. This indicates that bhakti destroys the prarabdha and aprarabdha karmas. The low birth is the cause of the impurity of the for the person mentioned. The low birth is the cause of the impurity for the person mentioned. The present experience of the low birth is the prarabdha papa or prarabdha karma. A person is being born in a low family is the cause of their prarabdha karma. If they are purified, their bad birth must be destroyed. By taking shelter of a pure devotee, they are said to be purified. That means their prarabdha karma is completely destroyed. If their bad birth has been destroyed, their prarabdha karmas must have been destroyed. When they are called by those names, it should be understood to be for practical purposes. It is not their spiritual designation, for it is forbidden to identify devotees by their birth. For example, if a sinful person after taking to bhakti, that person will never be identified with their previous sinful activities or with their previous sinful birth. Now they will be called as devotees, as Krishna Das. They are not called with the previous names. Even though a person must have gone to jail, is a great criminal, but after coming to the association of devotees, when they become devotees, they will never be called as a criminal. They will always called as devotee henceforward. That means their prarabdha has been destroyed. That is indicated in this verse. Arche Vishnu Stiladir Gruheshu Naramatir Vaishnave Jati Buddhi. It is an offense to see the deity form as a stone. It is offense to see the deity as a stone, to see the Guru as an ordinary man, and to see the Vaishnava according to his birth. Once a person becomes devotee, one should see him as a devotee only. One should not see him as the formal person. So in that way. The rule is that even a low born should be taught bhakti. Bhakti can be taught to anyone. Even the other things cannot be taught to anyone, but bhakti can be taught to anyone. It will be said later on in the Bhagavatam 11th canto, persons devoid of devotee association and who cannot appreciate glorification of the Lord, women and Shudras, deserve your mercy. So that means the persons who are devoid of devotee association, who are remote people, who are staying at a far place, and who cannot appreciate the glorification because they are not exposed to glorification of the Lord. And the women and Shudras also deserve Lord's mercy. So in that way. Thus, bhakti is meant for everyone. Though Nishkama Karma, Jnana and Ashtanga Yoga are meant for only limited people, but bhakti does not have any barriers. It is meant for anyone and everyone. By taking shelter of bhakti, everyone can be purified. That is the glorious nature of bhakti. Hare Krishna. We'll stop here. We'll continue our discussion tomorrow. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.